cash flow, super important in any business, without a doubt. Positive cash flow is your lifeblood. And obviously, working backwards from that, you need to make sure you've got new business coming in and all of the other things. But really, it's always about that cash flow. Now, I was very lucky enough to really, when I was building my first business up, my martial arts school, to generate continual growing, increasing cash flow all of the time. Now, I didn't appreciate how important cash flow was until I didn't have it. It's a classic thing, isn't it? Because the accountant used to say year after year, the tax advisor used to say year after year, it's fantastic cash flow in business, this, brilliant, you're always in the black. And obviously I used to look around the table and go, is every business not like this? Now, unfortunately, every business isn't like that. So if you're a property investor, you know, the flip side of things, if you only do flips, it can often be like that, peaks and valleys where you'll have big lumps of cash, then nothing for quite a while, and that drop down, then another big lump of cash. So for us, really, we like, of course, a regular cash flow without a doubt, but we also like the lumps of cash as well. So we like the regular monthly cash flow from the rental side of things, the rental portfolio that comes in. We don't do any SA or anything like that, but we also like the regular flips as well. So we might do 2-3 flips a year, something. But the amount of flips that we do, or the number of flips that we do, will always depend on what's out there and how much we're willing to work, really. So yeah, cash flow is super important. You need that cash flow to make sure you're paying your trades, paying line items. So line items might always be your payroll if you've got a team. Another line item might be always your marketing. If you don't own your own building, or even if you do, you know, you could own it yourself, then rent it back to yourself through a company. The rent that needs paying, or the mortgage that needs paying. So you've always got those line items, regardless of how successful or how much cash is coming into your business. And that's where things can go wrong, because you could be so used to paying your line items, your expenses every single month, and putting a big tick next to them. Nice and easy because you're getting that regular cash flow. But as soon as the cash flow starts to drop down, and in combination with when your expenses start to go up, that's when you can get into, you know, hot water. So you definitely don't want to be doing that. So when people say to my mentees, what should I go for? Should I go for cash flow, or should I go for lumps of cash? It depends whereabouts you are on your journey. It depends whereabouts you are, I suppose, in your life as well. If you might be a lot more risk tolerant, you might have a lot more savings, you might not have that much savings, and so on. So your strategy, you know, changes around, really. But for me, we definitely like the regular monthly income coming in, because it's somewhat, it's never 100% passive. Don't let any, you know, any training provider or anything like that tell you that it's 100% passive. It isn't. It's your job to make it as 100% passive as possible, but you've still always got to, you know, maybe reply back to a couple of emails, maybe speak to a couple of agents or whatever, deal with a couple of trades and that type of thing. But it's a lot more passive than going out working 40 hours a week plus a 10 hours a week commute and that type of thing. So for us, property's always been a fantastic wealth pillar, really, and provides us with leverage. And we know, if anybody's watched any of the videos before, it's an amazing tool, if used properly and if you're educated, to get a fantastic return on capital employed. So one of our latest deals now at the moment, we've only left, I think it's about £13,000 in it, which is brilliant. So it's £13,000. We've had better deals before in the past, but this is one that's coming to my mind. £13,000 left in a deal. The property's worth about 150, and the rent on that is £795 per calendar month. And I think it's probably clearing about £350 per calendar month net cash flow. And that might not seem a lot, but when you break it down to how much money we've actually left in the deal, you know, it's a really good return on capital employed. But getting back to the main purpose of the video, the main theme, cash flow, regular monthly cash flow, or large lumps of cash. In an ideal world, of course you want to, but it depends on exactly where you are, what resources you have available. Remember, it's more about you being resourceful than the number of resources you have. But yeah, cash flow's amazing, because then you know what's coming in, or predictably what's coming in, without having to do too much. But then the regular lumps of cash, what we'd get from, you know, maybe, I'm not talking about refinancing, I'm talking about actually selling, or possibly, you know, we've done a refurb and we've revalued it and then pulling it out that way, whichever. But lumps of cash are fantastic if you can get a few of those going. But regular monthly income for us is brilliant, because we hopefully in 10, 15, 20 years time want that to well and truly easily easily pay for, 5-10 times our expenses each and every month, really. I remember another little tip: it's fine to have liabilities, but make sure that your assets are producing or paying for your liabilities. It's always a classic one. So any more on cash flow, have a look at Grant Cardone. He loves it. I'm sure you've heard of him. But for us, basic investing, cash flow is definitely king. Positive cash flow and lumps of cash. We like those type of things in our business. If you do need any help, and I don't know if you can see it well, if you do want to build your ideal life, you need any help on your mindset, your business and wealth, then get in touch. I help mentees. Basically, I help driven, committed entrepreneurs exponentially grow the profits. So if you think that you fit into that category, I want to work with driven people and committed people, then maybe obviously get in touch. But good luck, keep taking steps further forward, and keep building your cash flow. Keep building that asset every month, every 6 months, every year, 5 years, 10 years. Keep adding to that cash flow. Good luck, keep taking steps further forward. All the best.